breathe. Welcome to Enigma Media.
Let's go.
What up, headbangers? How you doing? I'm Robb O'Day, and welcome to the Greasiest of all time. Today we're chilling with Tom from Black Inked Ocean out of France. How you doing?
I'm good. And you? How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm slowly waking up with my coffee. Why don't you introduce the band and tell us how it got together and started?
Okay. So we started the band in 2017. And it started with only Dimitri, the drummer, and me, the guitarist. So we were buddies before, and we had several bands in the past. And we decided to start a new band together after I went in Australia for 1 year. And so we wanted to create a band focusing on the energy that the metalcore is giving with the powerful riffs and everything. Mm-hmm. And also we had a strong history with pop punk and things like that, those types of music. So we wanted to add as much melodies as we could, and that's why we chose to have a female singer. And that's when we recruited Marjorie, who is like I don't know how to say it, but she studied lyrical music and all those things. And so we knew right away that she had the knowledge to express herself as a singer, and she had the technical ability to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
So first it started like that. We started searching for other members, bassist and another guitarist to fill up the band, but we had some struggles because not everyone was able to start a band who wants to be professional. So we did a lot of recruiting. We did rehearsals with a lot of musicians. So, and we had a bit of trouble with that.
Yeah. That's
so that's why we decided to do our first EP with what we had. So mainly Dimitri, Marjorie, and myself. And use that EP to show what we wanted to do and recruit all the other members.
Yeah, like a template. This is what we do. Yeah,
that's why it's another the screamer.
Yeah.
Was another guy who's called Ben Pommier, which is a friend of mine. I used to play in a pop punk band with him. In my youngest day.
You guys are a six-piece, which is unique to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool. So you have two singers then.
Yeah, we have the females. So she does a lot of our choruses and things like that.
Yeah.
And so
she's got a wicked voice too. Like you guys definitely capture that metalcore aspect with your instrumentals, and then you have that poppy catchiness of pop punk, which is awesome, which is really cool to see a blend of. You don't really see that. So it's a unique style, and it's kind of cool to see what comes out of France, because I'm not super big on which bands have come out of France. You know what I mean? I'm not closed off, but like I there's a handful of bands that I've heard of, but like they've always got a different sound. And it's
that's what we thought when we created the band. There's not a lot of mainly pure metalcore musicians or bands, because we in France, famous bands that we have are like Gojira.
Yeah, I was gonna say Gojira is one of the only ones that I know of.
Yeah, Gojira. We have Chunk No Captain Chunk, but it's like easycore, so more focused on pop punk, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also Betraying the Martyr, but I don't think they are all from France.
Okay.
Not sure about that.
Yeah,
But
I
so
didn't know that.
yeah,
That's awesome.
we really wanted to blend those two types of music, and Marjorie does a great job bringing that poppy sound that we wanted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. As soon as like I heard it, I was like, whoa. Because you guys start off, some songs are super fucking heavy, and then all of a sudden just opens up into this like really catchy chorus, and I'm like, damn, dude, like that's wicked to see. You don't see that often, right? Especially not in North America. You have like it goes one way or the other. So it's cool to see a blend.
Yeah.
Like I really liked it. It kind of like, I don't know, it was like finding a new toy. I was like super intrigued. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, that's one thing we focused really on, having really both side and blending as much as we could those heavy riffs and those poppy choruses with like the leads and everything.
How has COVID affected you guys in your aspect for recording and writing?
Sorry, can you repeat?
How has COVID affected you guys? Because I know that Europe and the UK have been hit pretty hard with COVID, and I know that musicians worldwide have been hit pretty hard.
Yes.
How has it affected you guys?
So right now we can't see each other very often.
Mm-hmm.
So we tend to just exchange ideas through messages and like a messenger, things like that. One thing I'm glad is that Dimitri is close to where I live, so we can see each other kind of frequently. But all the other members, we can't really see them, so we can't even rehearse, because it's not allowed in France.
Yeah, because you guys can't have. It's still pretty locked down technically, isn't it?
We have how can I say it? After 6 p.m.
A curfew.
Allowed.
Oh, so you have a
curfew
too.
Yeah, we have a curfew till after 6 p.m.
Yeah, that's what Eric was saying yesterday. He's got one for like 8.
I'm lucky. I'm 8. It's 8 here, but
yeah, like
Thomas is 6.
Yeah, it was crazy. When I heard that yesterday, I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna stop complaining, because like we don't have a curfew. If I want to go out at 10 o'clock, I'll go out at 10 o'clock." So
that's one problem. Yeah,
and I definitely think that's been a huge thing for bands to adapt to, is not being able to spend time with each other, because it is a relationship. You know what I mean? Like you base it. A band is usually based off of friendship, or
exactly.
And like this unity, but like being separated for a year has driven a lot of bands apart, even though there's nothing to fight about. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like these rifts are happening, and like, it's weird. It's definitely a weird time.
We spend like when the first lockdown came, I think we didn't see ourselves maybe 6 or 8 months before we saw each other again. So yeah, it was pretty crazy. But the first lockdown, how can I say it? It enabled us to create a lot more compared to before, because we just had music to do, so we had the time to.
Yeah, and I think that's a collective thing. Is every band is basically, it's like a blessing in disguise, right? Like we've all been given a year to focus on our music.
That's one challenge, because I think during 2021 and 2022, there's a lot of albums that are coming out because of the first lockdown. I mean, every band, I mean, they pretty much all created maybe 1 or 2 albums. So there's a lot of music that will come out eventually.
No, for sure. My biggest fear is what's gonna happen after for 2021 and 22 is like people's attention span for albums isn't there. You know what I mean? Like they want singles. We're forced to put out singles right now constantly, which means we're limited to the amount of music we can write really because yeah, we can write a full album, but if it's a 12-song album, that's a year of singles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So instead
Yeah.
of being able to put out 2 albums a year, you're forced to just one single a month, and you have to ride it. So it's kind of
Yeah.
a weird time for bands who enjoy writing albums, like, or even concept albums. Like the idea of a concept album is done. Like no one will pay attention to it anymore, which is sad because I mean,
there's still some band that can do that, but they're the big ones like I mean the Horizon or Architects, they can still do that, but I mean, well, as a band we try to have something like maybe not a concept album, but we try to bring a certain story in our songs. So that's what we did with the first EP. It had a beginning and an ending.
Yeah.
And that's something that's close to our hearts to do that. So I think we will continue to do that, even if it maybe not attract the attention of people as much as before, but I think it's something that's still very important to express feelings in your songs, and I think it's the best way to do that. If you have a beginning, like
it's like
an ending and everything.
Yeah, it's like you got chapters, right? Chapter 1, 2,
yeah
3.
exactly.
I love that. Like, I don't know, I've always been addicted to listening to a whole album. It's like that's always been one defining factor for a band for me, is if you can write great music, but can you make it a whole piece of art? You know what I mean? Like only certain bands are able to do that. And I definitely think...
Me too.
Pardon?
I used to listen to each album from beginning to end, and that's something that I like very much.
Right, like reading the book. You're like,
yeah.
Like I miss that.
And I'm like really addicted to how an album ends, and I mean like bands like Pierce the Veil or A Day to Remember. I remember that the last song of the album always had a strong impact on me.
Yeah.
So I think it's something very important to finish the album with like a banger or something really strong and with a lot of meaning.
Yeah, that's like me with Coheed and Cambria. And Keeping Secrets of Silent Earth 3 was one of like, I don't know, that album changed my life. And from that day on, I was like, there's a whole other element to music I was missing. The storytelling, right? Before I just wrote lyrics, like basically, it's not even metaphorical. Like now I have like triple entendres in my lyrics. There's like 3 different meanings in something I write. So it's I've kind of like had to take my art and change it to a different thing, because I've realized that art is like way much more. And I love that about music, is like you can start off at like base level where you're like, oh, okay, and you listen to it, and then all of a sudden you progressively just like find these little like nuances in music that kind of just trigger new ideas. It can be the simplest little thing, you know what I mean? But it inspires so much, and it's a really cool factor for musicians to be able to just like find inspiration in anything and turn it into this like musical
and
aspect.
Like music can hit differently when you hear it the first time, when you hear it the 100th time. I mean, like I've discovered so many things, like maybe 4 years after listening to a record. So that's something that I really like about that.
I also like the concept.
There's so many levels, layers.
No, for sure. And I think a really cool concept about music too is like once it's there, it's there. You know what I mean? You can't get rid of it. And it just, you look back on like a song you wrote 5 years ago and you're like, whoa, I've progressed so much. So it's like almost a visual or an audio representation of your growth as a musician. So it's kind of cool to hear like I used to think like, I wasted lots of time with bands that I did before. well, no, because if I didn't do those mistakes and play with those
Yeah.
bands and learn the things that I did, I wouldn't be able to be where I am right now. So it's
True that.
it's a really unique thing how we can take music out of anything, like a music inspiration from any aspect of life. Like I've had thoughts from that related when I was a cook to music, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden it was like inspired a song, and I don't know, weirdest things can just
Exactly.
like click. And I don't think people
Yeah,
understand
sometimes
that.
it's something you experience something and it just leads to a song the
Yeah.
days after. Yeah.
Or even like a
Uh,
thought. You're just like sitting there one day and all of a sudden you're just like, damn, I need to write about that. You know, like I'm also really controversial with my lyrics. Like I like to,
okay.
I'm not a controversial person, but I like to talk about things that most people like to overlook or like, oh, I don't want to hear that kind of a thing.
Okay.
But in my
Yeah.
lyrics, I like to do it in a way that makes you like think. So I try to
Mhm.
make it so it's like almost as if you're like learning instead of just like hearing somebody
Something.
talk. You know what I mean?
Well, that's something that we also try to do when with our songs, because every song is like, for the first EP, every song was an emotion, a feeling, like something that we experienced or that we thought about, that we saw, something like that. So we definitely tried to be as much straightforward as we could, because that's when you could express what you want the most. I mean, when we talk, in public or everywhere, we always have something. You put up some kind of a front.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I always
I
find it
mean,
funny when you talk to metal bands too, because like on stage they're like, you know, and then you
yeah,
meet them and they're like the nicest people, the most calm
yeah,
and collected. They're just like, and I think more people need to like take that aggression out and just listen to metal. Like I always try to explain that to
that's
my mom. She's like, I can't stand the music, the screaming. I'm like, Mom, like, have you ever not just like felt like you just needed to scream? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, well, that's what it is. Just listen to it, embrace that feeling, and just give your
yeah,
metal
that's
face.
exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like for us, we try to write like a heavy songs, but we're the most chill out guys out there. I mean, we're
Yeah.
like we're we're just we are children, really, because
Yeah.
we couldn't bite anyone.
Yeah, no, I definitely have yet to meet a metal band that's like, wow, they were kind of
Yeah,
rude, because most of the time people are just so genuine. They're like, I
yeah.
don't know, it's a big family, right? It's like, oh, you
I
play
mean, like,
metal?
yeah,
We're family, we're brothers instantly. Doesn't even
pretty
matter
much
if you're on different side of the world. It's really cool.
every band that we met, they were all great guys. We had a great time every time. So yeah, that's something that also is great about. I mean, it's also in pop music and things like that. But I mean, like, I've never experienced such friendship in music, in metal.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's just so friendly. They're
Yeah.
just here to enjoy them just as you are.
And I think it's because we all struggle. We all know what it's like to be broken. It's like we all know what it's
We
like
all
to
know what
play
it
to an
is.
empty house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So kind of like, yeah, we'll give each other our props. How is the scene in France? The music scene?
Um, the scene in France is pretty great, I think. That's something that we didn't really knew when we started the band,
Mm-hmm.
but as we advanced in doing concerts and things like that, and we, as I said, we discovered so many new bands and bands that are so friendly over your music. They all enjoy it. They are super nice. They give good how do you say?
Advice.
Yeah, advice.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
No,
I
no
tend to
worries.
say.
No, it's
Thank
true.
you.
There is a, I don't know, like an unspoken bond between bands. You know what I mean?
I think
Like,
it's
I definitely think that there's a weird underlying, like, invisible
yeah,
thread that kind of connects us all. And it's kind of just like slowly been pulled apart. We kind of just like got to reel it back in. So,
yeah,
because I mean, the industry itself has changed so much in the past 10 years with
yeah.
the tightness of the industry and like the scenes. And I find every band has said that there's like a lot more negative competition versus friendly competition, which is what we used to have. You know what I mean? Like we used
Yeah,
to
yeah.
book shows with other bands, and you'd be like, "All right, let's see who can get the other band, the crowd going harder."
We
But
need, yeah, we need
but
to be the better
you'd
one.
still be in the crowd. And now
Mm.
it's like bands are like outside waiting by their vehicle while you play instead of supporting you because they think
Yeah,
that they just shouldn't have to. And I mean, at least in
that's yeah,
Canada,
yeah.
it can be like that. And I know in a couple other places I've heard are like that, but it's just, I think that there's this weird division that happened within the past, like, I want to say like 6, 7 years of the
Mm.
industry where underground bands used to be really tight knit and now they're kind of like separated and divided.
There's like the thing that there are so many new bands every year. It's pretty hard to as a band to be to promote yourself. So there's
Yeah.
definitely some kind of competition sometimes, but I mean, um,
Healthy competition's good.
yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, I enjoy seeing new bands that I know achieve something and
Mhm.
be famous, whatever.
Yeah, no, for
Because
sure.
I know that they are as happy as I am
Hmm.
with us. So there's definitely competition because, of course, we want to be the better ones. We want to live to be able to do music every day. So
Hmm.
that's always something that at least I have in
Yeah,
mind. I want to do something. I
yeah.
want to do
It's
music
like
all
being
my
on a
life. So
team. It's like being on a
yeah,
sports team, but it's just like the
kind
sports
of, kind
team.
of.
Each individual person is a band. You know what I mean? So there's like the whole sports team has like 30 bands, and they're all
Yeah,
competing together, but
that's
for the same thing.
that's the
No,
league. Yeah.
yeah, and I find like, for example, like some of the bands that I've interviewed when they've announced new news, like recently one of the bands got signed, and I'm like, I got amped as shit, and I'm not even in the band, you know what I mean? And it's because like I'm like, fuck yeah, they made it. And the more you see up and coming bands make it, I think it gives you that hope that like
Of course.
we're gonna make it, you know? And I
And
think like yeah, there is tons of bands out there nowadays, like millions of bands, but a lot of those bands are stepping into the scene thinking like, oh, okay, I can get famous overnight because it's TikTok or Spotify, and
yeah,
in
yeah,
all reality,
but it's pretty naive to think that
yeah, you know,
because
like,
of course it can happen. It definitely happens sometimes, but
mhm,
you you realize pretty quickly that it does not work like that. I mean,
yeah,
you can do one song that will blow out like hell, and you will be there like, okay, now I have to be able to do the same again. So
mhm,
it puts a lot of pressure on you,
mhm.
and
That's what I was gonna say. Are you able to maintain it? Like, yeah, you wrote a catchy song,
yeah.
but can you maintain it as a career? No, it's really hard. You know, like
The-
I've written catchy songs that
yeah,
were good, but doesn't mean like I'm rolling in dough because that's not my view. I think they step into it thinking like millions of dollars. Well, then
yeah.
you should get into another industry because I don't know if you've
Because
seen how much we get paid on Spotify, but it's
pretty
nothing.
much zero.
It's less than zero. It's like it's sad. It's like
Yeah,
musicians are basically the modern day slaves, but at our own will because we choose
I
to
mean,
do it.
like it definitely changed over the years because back in the days, I mean the 90s, bands like Blink 182, Green Day,
Right?
they could have the labels could give them $500,000 to make just a clip, a
Yeah.
music video. And right now, I think if you're lucky, you get 10 grand, maybe.
Yeah, if you're lucky. Otherwise, they're like, just do it out of your pocket, and then we'll try and help you.
Exactly. So if
Yeah,
you want to be rich, might do as well do rap or pop song.
yeah, and I mean, like, I did hip hop, and I did it for I think about 6 years, and I was
Okay.
touring, and like, it's so cutthroat. Honestly, it's like it disgusted me going from being in bands where we're tight knit, we help each other to like,
Yeah.
I met a guy, and then within one performance, he was already writing diss tracks, and he didn't even know who I was, and I'm like, bro,
Yeah,
you
because
can
they
talk shit, but like I was raised to fight people like you, so like put them up. So
they
it's
just
weird.
yeah, they seek fame and they
Mhm.
seek buzz.
Yeah,
But
I've always said I'd rather be a legend than famous. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather
yeah,
be a a Rolling Stones than
no,
somebody who's quick and makes $1 million overnight. Because
yeah,
for me it's longevity is just key. Like my favorite artists are absolutely amazing and have written amazing music forever. And I don't think they'll ever stop versus just doing it because they wanted money. Like
yeah,
I look at In Flames, and In Flames has been writing amazing music since fucking I was a kid, and they never gave
yes,
up on that. It's just they got famous because they worked their ass off. And,
yeah.
and I
A
think
lot of
that's,
bands
yeah, I
are
definitely
like
think
that.
it's what it takes is just that dedication and knowing like, yeah, there may be millions out there, but
Yeah,
the dedication that they have versus there's a lot of people who want the look and not the hard work. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And and that's
yeah.
that will determine who lasts in the music industry.
That's one thing that I learned because when I was young, I used to be a bit like that. I mean, like I had a band and I was like, yeah, we keep doing our stuff. Maybe it will come, it will blow out. Maybe
Hmm.
like I wasn't thinking about that, and I quickly realized like one day I was like, yeah, man, if you want to do music all your life, you gotta work. You gotta practice. You gotta do stuff
Yeah,
because
it's more than
it
just
won't come
jamming.
out like that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Some
there's
people have better luck because maybe someone will find them like that, but normally it won't be as easy. And
yeah.
that's like we've been working our asses off for maybe more than 4 years now, and I think people recognize that we put a lot of effort in our
Hmm.
songs. I mean,
Yeah.
just like the fact that Eric found us and he's from Canada, that's
Hmm.
something like really great for us. Even being able to be listened to in England, USA, Canada, Germany as well,
Yeah.
and that's something I think you cannot have if you don't
Earn it.
put yeah like your whole
Hmm.
self in writing and just managing your band.
Yeah, and just be true to you. I think that's the key thing.
Yeah.
If there was anything in the industry you would change, what do you think it would be?
Something that I would change. um, what I would change? I would change maybe what I don't know if it's really the industry, but how much we give to you know different style of music. I mean, right now, pop music and rap music are all we talk about. So yeah, the people listen on pretty much to only that, and the money is also go there. But I think if we had maybe a, I don't know how to say it, but if it was easier for bands to be bands,
Hmm.
so all those things, I think it would be less heavy on the mind. You know,
Yeah.
like when you have a band, you every day you think, okay, what should I do? How can I every day be positive about what I do if like I'm worried about my life as a person and if I will
Hmm.
be able to, have a job or be
Yeah.
able to live.
It's
So
definitely
that's
hard.
something, yeah.
I don't think people realize like they work a full-time job and then they go home and watch TV and eat dinner and relax, and we work a full-time
It's
job and then we go home and we spend another 8 hours writing.
we work. Yeah.
And then we're
Well,
working still.
you have to make sacrifices. That's the thing. That's the thing that strikes me the most because I think like right now we have to do a lot of sacrifice to be able to do what we want.
Hmm.
I mean, I used to, as you said, I used to work maybe 8-10 hours a day, and after that I was still writing music. Every weekend we were rehearsing.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe I had 1 day off a week, and I used it to music. So it's pretty tiring every day, and you don't save a lot of money as well.
Yeah, you don't make
Because you
money
buy
as a
gear.
musician. You don't do it for money anymore. It's not.
You don't. Yeah.
I
The thing is, we
always say that you have to invest. If you're not willing to invest in your own career, why should anybody else? And I think that's a key thing with musicians.
exactly.
People
That's what
don't
we
realize
asked.
that.
That's what we asked when we were recruiting members. Like,
Mhm.
you have to be able to, yeah, music is cool, play music, have fun, but you have to invest yourself.
It's not
with
always
the
about
with
investment
money.
with money. It's about time and effort and energy and
Art.
and exactly. It's a big thing. It's not just like
Yeah.
picking up an instrument and hanging out. Like that's garage bands, but professional bands is
Yeah.
it's a
I mean,
lot harder.
we have to try to still enjoy ourselves because that's also why we started music. But
Mm-hmm.
you have to be able to comprehend that, to understand that music is not all about fun, and it's just a lot of work generally.
Yeah, no, it's true. Is there anything you want to say before we wrap up?
We are currently writing our new EP, and we just announced today that we signed a record deal with AMG record.
Sweet.
And, so that's kind of a big step for us.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congrats.
Thank you very much. And like, yeah, hopefully we plan to put out our new record this year.
Mm-hmm.
So people can expect new stuff from us pretty soon.
Sweet. Because yeah, that'd be awesome. Because the last album's pretty fucking badass. It'd be nice to hear some new stuff. I'd like to see what you guys have come up with over COVID.
The new stuff will be a bit more heavy, I think.
Sweet.
We definitely try to grab what we did with the first EP and like expand it. So we are trying new stuff as well, but yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. When you guys release it, we'll have you back on and we'll try to get you guys all together at once, and hopefully lockdown's done by then.
To do that. Yeah, I will be happy. Thank you very much as well for the
No
interview.
worries. Thanks for coming on, and thanks Eric for linking us up.
Anytime. Thanks to you.
All right, you guys stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much.
Okay, bye.
Hi everybody. This is my customer service voice. Thanks for checking out the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and fucking hit the bell, alright? So you can stay up to date on all the new episodes.